Welcome one, welcome all. It's another day here on the Jasiri table. This is where we take on the biggest stories from Nigeria and across the world that matter to you. This is the place for fearless conversations, call-outs when needed, and a deeper look into the situations that affect our lives every day. Today's the day where it's just us and we've got a lot to get through. So let's get started.
And of course, instead of but first, it's first on the agenda. It's a story that takes us across the continent to East Africa. Now in Kenya, Governor Susan Kihika of Nakuru County is facing some heavy backlash. Here's what happened. During her speech at the Madaraka Day celebrations, the Nakuru County governor decided to address critics who dragged her for traveling to the U.S. to give birth. In her explanation as to why she chose to give birth abroad, she said, and I quote, "All the doctors and nurses in Nakuru are under me. I couldn't have them see me naked." I want Catherine to catch that.
Wow.
I couldn't have them see me naked. She said it would have been inappropriate for them to see her nakedness. She even added that the president can go to Kenyatta Hospital. He's a man, but I couldn't do that. End of quote.
Okay. Her comments have stirred debate online, especially because she made them at an official event while seated beside Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Now, the people of Kenya are calling out the elitism, the distrust of local health systems, and the irony that a sitting governor wouldn't use the very facilities her administration oversees. And this, unfortunately, also isn't the first time Kihika has been in the headlines. She's been known for a lavish lifestyle, and now critics online are wondering if she is truly in touch with the people she governs. Let's get some reactions on this.
She's making childbirth look like a national security risk. Madam Governor didn't want her staff to see her lady bits, so she cut a flight instead of catching feelings for a dilapidated health system. If every in-court leader bailed on public hospitals because someone might see their butt, we'd need different airlines to ferry out our leaders on our taxis for fevers, coughs, sore throats, et.al. If our doctors are professional enough to stitch up gunshot wounds without streaming it, I believe they can deliver a baby without taking selfies, and the reaction goes on and on. Women of higher and more respectful cadres have given birth right here without qualms. Susan isn't an exception. Far from it. If she went abroad because she could, then she would own the privilege. But she shouldn't dress a privilege in a hospital gown of fake modesty and call it principle.
Fake modesty.
Our doctors aren't peeping toms. They're exhausted professionals trying to save lives with broken tools. Kenyan healthcare deserves proper management, not fleeing.
Wow.
You were not there when she got pregnant. Why are you bothered with where she delivers? Sometimes you guys get so nosy with people's lives.
Because she's busy with people's money.
It's not just that, it's the position that she holds. She actually oversees healthcare, hospitals,
in the country.
So they have every single right. If you're not going to give birth, if you're not going to give birth in our hospitals, what makes me think I should give birth in the same hospital? What? Let's continue with the reactions, please.
Practice what you preach.
I think Kihika didn't owe anyone an apology. Her mistake was trying to explain why. Our leaders go abroad for even minor ailments all the time. Oh no, she had to explain. Just listen, I lost my kid through poor medical attention during childbirth. My experience traumatized me so much. Any hospital I step my foot in, I want to be keen. Sometimes I always wish the system was working well, and I would even go abroad to save my child if I have to.
Okay, I get that still. All right, so this one says, in fact, Nakuru medics and all professionals should protest. It's an insult to every dedicated public servant. Leadership should inspire trust, not mock it. If a governor claims she can't use the very hospitals she's in charge of because doctors are, in quote, under her, then that's not modesty. It's a clear admission of a broken system. It's just, that's it.
That's even an elitist statement. There's a lot of things wrong with what she says. And for those saying that she didn't owe anyone an explanation. I understand if she was just a random individual, right? And this is not traveling out of state within the country. This is traveling out of the country. So you're trying to say that you have the money to do it. That's why you did it, because the hospital system is not trustworthy. That's what you're trying to tell other people. Look at the guy who said he lost his kid. If he could, he would have sent his kid outside. So you're saying that because people can't afford it, it's a 50-50 risk. It's either you die or, you know, the operation is successful. But because you can afford it, you have the luxury of traveling out.
But probably this is what is going. Sorry, but probably I'm thinking. Let's look at the bigger picture. Probably this is not only Kenya. Probably this is what's going on in Africa.
Probably
it is. Yes. And then someone says, let's even leave Cameroon.
Nigerians will not even address it.
Let's come to Nigeria. Let's come to
Nigeria.
Yes.
So one of the reasons I wanted us to take this story is because at the end of the day, when we look at it, you wonder what exactly ails African politicians. What is your problem? Like, what is the color of the issue that so many African politicians have from east to west, from north to south, from central? Why are you, what makes you the way you are? Because you know sometimes there's this thing about the chicken and egg, and I always ask you when I look at downfall drivers in Lagos, were you mad before you started driving the downfall? Or is it the circumstances of driving the downfall that made you crazy? Then the United States, now ask yourself about politicians. Were you always this person? Yes. Or did getting into politics, getting into the quarters of power, then make you this person who lacks empathy, who lacks an ability to put yourself in the shoes of the people that you're meant to serve? Which one came first?
Is that true? We all are like that. Nigerians.
Yes.
Nigerians are like, we are all mad. It's just the situation has not brought
because
it out
of our madness.
Yes. We are all greedy. The situation has just not brought it out of us. We are all selfish, unfortunately, because you would see Nigerians, you know, portraying these habits, like even in buses, even homeless Nigerians are greedy to each other. So unfortunately, that situation, for some reason, we have this this lack mentality. Right. I don't know if it's the same as poverty mentality, but the fact that you think that it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So if you get money now, you may never get it again. So let me do all I can.
Get everything you can for
if I'm in power now, I may never get the power again. Most of our leaders in power, and this is with no apology to anybody, are just trying to make the most of the situation and the power that they have and then go. They are not trying to solve any inherited backlog of whatever. It's not their business. That's the truth. They're just using big grammar to deceive everybody. Everybody is chop and go, chop and clean out. That's the mantra, unfortunately.
And if you do too much now, they ask you, why are you doing
what's the problem? And then that point she makes, you see that many Nigerians necessarily no longer have a problem with corruption. They have a problem with being outside. We're the ones looking in. They want to be on the inner circle. But I want to take a comment from Lynn Ngugi, and I hope that we'll be able to get her on Jasiri. But she talks about the governor giving birth abroad, and because of it, she said it's because the doctors there are under her. She said the same public health system she oversees isn't good enough for her own childbirth because modesty outweighs medical professionalism. Does she not trust Kenyan doctors to uphold ethics and confidentiality? If that's her logic, should we also pre-book her for a diaspora morgue when she dies? So Kenyan morticians don't see her body either. I have no problem with people giving birth wherever they choose, but don't insult our intelligence by using petty excuses to justify your privilege. Statements like this, 1, undermine doctors' integrity, demoralize healthcare workers, reinforce public distrust in Kenyan hospitals, normalize elitist health tourism, and tell the average Kenyan, you deserve what I won't use. It's not good enough for me, but it's okay for you. Public service is about building systems you can trust, not running from them with a boarding pass and an excuse. Deuces.
No, this person is so articulate. Yes, he went through everything. I don't have a problem with her going abroad. I have a problem with the excuse. Yeah, because you shouldn't do this. And, you know, let's take it down to Nigeria here, where our leaders go anywhere, everywhere.
For a headache.
For a headache. Yes. And they don't even tell us what. All of a sudden, it's private. We should give them, you know,
their privacy.
And this is even a very backward thinking, because in this age and time where women are fighting to normalize the use of certain words, giving birth, vagina, having sex, we're trying to normalize the use of words, no longer calling it nicknames, calling it as it is, because it's a natural phenomenon. You are now saying that nobody should, because they're beneath you, nobody should see you. So you would rather a foreigner sees you naked.
I don't know whether that is a typical reflection of power drunkenness. Because, and I think what hurts people the most to the senses is that this is your department, so to say.
This is where you have an opportunity to show
your office.
Show workings.
Yeah, to show workings, and you prefer to flee, and you prefer to... So the reactions we've had have been very thought-provoking, the reactions so far. No one's saying that you can't go abroad for it, but if you're pushing the agenda, the Kenyan agenda, your government agenda, the African agenda, charity begins at home. It's not more than that.
I don't think you should have addressed it.
I was about to say that in this situation, silence would have been golden. Yeah. You went abroad, and you can say you did that in your personal capacity as a private citizen, separate, and then let the chips fall where it may. Yeah. But the moment you opened your mouth and you dropped these comments, you made it very clear that sometimes when we don't speak, it's easier for us not to be ascertained as a fool.
I don't think
the moment you open your mouth, too many people, they let you, you can no longer assume.
Yeah. No.
Let me not finish that statement.
All right, guys. So at this point, let's take a break. It's Hot Topics Tuesday. We know that, and we've got some stories.
You're so fine. See this guy? This guy is so fine. Lola's going to be jealous wherever she is.
Lola inspired it, actually. Before she
I thought it was me.
No, she had it. No, it was actually Lola and said, Kat, you should try something like this. And you know, when Lola enters movie mode, you should try something like this. I'm telling you, you should. It's going to fit you.
I know when Lola enters.
But I don't miss that mommy mode, though, funny enough. I miss her whole humor, and when she says, you know, for me, it's worrisome. Lola always mirrors the problems of the country. Lola wears it. You know, for me, you know, when I listen to these things, it makes my heart bleed. You will actually be feeling sorry for her. But guys, get comfortable, because the stories we have lined up for you are hot. It's going to be a day of talk, talk, and talk. We'll be right back after the break.
Welcome back to Jase. You can join the conversation on social media. We are at News Central TV. Now, the Federal Medical Center, FMC Abuja, has confirmed that 8 members of its medical personnel, including 4 doctors, 2 nurses, and 2 health attendants, are currently under formal investigation for alleged professional misconduct and dereliction of duty. This action follows a viral video that sparked widespread public outrage over the reported neglect of accident victims brought to the hospital's emergency unit. The incident came to public attention when a video circulated on social media showing victims of a road traffic accident purportedly left unattended by hospital staff. According to the individual who recorded and shared the footage, a bystander transported the victims to the facility. Then personnel at the emergency unit allegedly declined to offer immediate care and were very lackadaisical about it too, citing a lack of essential supplies such as gloves. Let's watch this video.
People, they should bring out the patient. I just see them on the road, carry them. You say people, they should bring out the patient. See what you are saying. It's not, you say people, they should bring it. You, what are you doing? You don't understand what? I have already bring the patient here. Do you want me to do your work? What are you saying? Oh, it's not your work. You are on camera that you are saying it's not your work. You are on camera. You are on camera. You are saying that I'm recording you. What nonsense? I just assist some people. People are nearly dying. I just assist them. You say, can't you call them? See how this guy, see his situation. See his situation. It's something that you are on record, so. You are on record. I just see some people on the road. I just assist them. You are saying that. Must you open the car? It's open.
Where is what's his name? Elijah.
Let him die inside the car. No, my sister, I've already did my best for me to see some people there and bring them to hospital. She's saying she's not my distance, it's not her duty, it's not. If it is your relative, can you leave him the way he is? If it is your relative, the person, there's no hand glove. Okay, there's no hand glove. Minister of FCT, Minister of CT will see this video. You said there's no hand glove. You see this video viral. You said there's no hand glove in the hospital. No problem. No. I just see those people. They had an accident. I just carried them to hospital. You said there's no hand glove. This is what you said, ba? No problem. Leave him. Let him die there. I am on the video because there's no way. Yes. See the patient. See his situation. Which kind of country? See him. This guy is nearly dying. People should bring him out. What is your work?
I am so upset. But well, the hospital has released a statement as a preliminary response to the video. The statement didn't seem to go down well with, many people. But let's take a look at the statement in terms of what the preliminary findings were.
So the hospital has said that the preliminary findings indicate the following. One, the emergency department had an adequate supply of medical consumables, including latex gloves, contrary to the claims made in the video. Please, who made the claims? It was not the guy that made the claims.
Yeah.
Second, resuscitation equipment and medication were sufficient. Then there is no shortage of patient transfer equipment, including trolleys and wheelchairs, and also interaction with staff on duty and other stakeholders is currently ongoing. They say that the Honorable Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Adefarasin, has directed a full investigation of the incident, which is ongoing. Findings of the investigation will be made available to the public. Let's continue.
Well, at a press briefing on Monday 9 June 2025 yesterday, the hospital's head of clinical services, Dr. Bioku Muftas, has emphasized that any staff member found culpable would face appropriate disciplinary measures, well, in accordance with the public service and medical ethics standards.
Now, Dr. Muftal addressed these claims directly, stating that the patient in the video who had sustained a head injury was in fact promptly treated, stabilized, and discharged on the same day of arrival. Lucky him. He reassured the public that the hospital did not experience a shortage of staff or capacity at the time of the incident. He further disclosed that the investigation was initiated at the directive of the Minister of State for Health, Isiaq Salako, and that its findings will be made public once the review is complete. Now, in his words, all staff present on the day of the reported incident are under investigation. This includes 4 doctors, 2 nurses, and 2 health assistants. The hospital maintains a zero-tolerance policy for negligence, and due process will be followed in addressing this matter. Here are some reactions on the issue.
As a medical professional, this can be a bit tricky. Most times there are not enough gloves. So what some of us do is we buy our own and bring to work to avoid being caught lacking. But the thing is, there's a limit to how much you're willing to spend from your salary on that. When it's solely the duty of the government and hospital management to provide these things, I think the best thing she could have done was borrow from a neighboring ward or patient and promise to replace as soon as possible.
They're so relaxed for people working in A&E unit. Her type will be so quick to announce TOD, time of death, if you don't know. Federal government wants to probe what exactly? Why not provide good and standard hospital, good emergency services, ambulance? I work in the UK and we don't lift patients. We have structured and designed way of lifting patients. Provide stretchers, portering services, good machines that can hoist patients, paramedics that are trained to attend to emergency, paid nurses and doctors well. I listened to that video to the end. I want to clarify some misunderstandings of the public regarding such situation. A doctor is not responsible for wheeling patients into the emergency. That is the job of a porter. For safety reasons, you don't touch anyone without gloves. I don't think anybody is countering that. But someone also says, but it wouldn't cost you anything to join hands with the doctor in helping the patient out of your car since she offered assistance. Instead, you chose to make this unnecessary video. Oh, wow. If that's a doctor, it's not her job to take your patient out of the car, though. And that quote, if it was your relative, unquote, is actually a blackmail. No. Okay, all the doctors are coming out. I find that interesting. And yes, while to the ordinary public, everybody that's coming out of the doors of an emergency room are responsible in some way. And I probably won't be sure. I won't be surprised if, watching too many medical TV shows has made us think we understand the process. Yeah. But there was a simple lack of urgency and empathy exhibited in that video. And that had nothing to do with the man who was recording.
And it is a very, very unnecessary and wrong statement for you to say she offered to assist. What do you mean offered to assist? That is their job. Whether or not she's not responsible for bringing him out of the car, it is not my duty, even if the person is my relative, it's not my duty to bring them out of the car if you're not the one who is to take the person, get the person who is, they said it's a porter, right? Get the porter to take, you saying that a doctor offered to assist as though so what should I do? Carry the person on my head? It's just unnecessary. Yes, I know that maybe ordinary citizens may not understand some of the medical proceedings, but like Tolu said, that is
the fact that they were strolling around, I mean, even if I don't understand anything from the medical series that I watch, I see how they run.
And she was saying, where is that? What's
do you understand?
Just look at the body language.
Body language, lackadaisical. Someone's life is in danger. It's, guys, you cannot tell me that, like the first comment we took, you must have extra gloves somewhere.
Yeah.
You must, you're a clinic, a hospital, that's what you do. Yeah. And then the urgency to save a life is lacking.
Even if you don't have, like someone said, borrow from a neighboring unit or something. Imagine, God forbid, losing a relative because of lack of gloves.
Oh,
it doesn't make any sense.
And I remember Joan Stephen, who came here when her husband got shot. They put him outside in a keke with drip. The hospital said they didn't have. And let's go back to that statement, because that statement also feels like they're throwing the medical personnel under the bus. I'm not worried, but I believe that woman who said there's no gloves, she's not going to find it easy. No. Not going to find it easy at all, because the statement is saying, oh, no, what is she saying? There are gloves. Oh, no, there are wheelchairs, there are trolleys. Okay, it's not even wheelchair. An accident victim is not someone you put out in a wheelchair. So they're saying that there's adequate supply of all medical consumables, resuscitation equipment was sufficient, no shortage of patient transfer equipment, and they're doing the investigation. So what was she saying? So who are we meant to believe? Hospital administrations, which we know in this country tend to try to cover up, or the person who was caught in the midst of the current situation, who spoke out of what she believed to be true.
Are we still so backward that in fact, to be honest, this one is not even just about the security sector anymore. I would advocate for body cams for even medical workers. Because if she had gone to the store and she had checked, the camera would have caught that she didn't find. I don't know why even our security agencies do not wear body cams, because honestly, a lot of issues will be resolved with that.
Imagine somebody making a video. I was just about to say that the only way to save yourself now in Nigeria is to make a video. And people are still saying you're making an unnecessary video. Okay, fine. Let everybody's actions be documented with a body cam, so that whatever you did or did not do, if you went to the store to check and you did see that there were gloves, and you say it's to your own defense. I don't know why we're not having the conversation of we're not implementing body cams yet.
Yeah, I think it's so ironic because in contrary to our first story about someone going out of state for basic treatment, if you say things like this, you go out for a day.
But you can't afford it.
Oh well.
And then that's my problem. And in not being able to afford it, the hospitals now and medical outfits are cutting corners.
And they're putting their hands up.
And then you're throwing their hands. You're not paying doctors well. You're not paying nurses well. Apart from the normal bad behavior entitlement that our people have. Have you seen a nurse? I think I've shared that story with you. When I was having my daughter, when that one said, "Open your mouth and breathe," ma was slapping me left hand and said, "Open your mouth and breathe. Open your mouth and breathe." I gave that nurse backhand. Because then with the pain of labor, I didn't even, don't speak to me like I'm clueless, I don't know what to do. You wheel me out, then you will discover that, okay, we didn't really stitch her properly, let's wheel her back to, are you playing a guessing game? And this is one of the big hospitals in Lagos. Wow. What are we talking about? So I think we have managed, in the management of our lives and structures and how things work in Nigeria, we've taken it to the medical field. And so these kinds of attitudes can now come. And this is what we've seen,
that's what I was going to say. Other people don't still have a problem with your statement, because it says, equipment were available, but was it made available to the nurses?
For all we know, it could have been locked in somebody's office or in storage. That's another thing we know that's happening. They will check it up as delivered, but it ends up locked up in somebody's office. And I want to really give kudos to the man who took these accident victims. Too many of us, let's be honest, too many of us will drive by. We know why. Because we've seen too many people caught up at the hospital or with the police when something goes wrong. He took them to the hospital. He stayed and he advocated for them. We need more Nigerians like that. Much kudos to this kind of man.
So that's the thing. Nigerians would, under normal circumstances, be willing to do it. But does the system encourage that? Imagine if this guy had died. It would have been ludicrous, but we might have been talking about the man who carried them being charged.
Yeah, we talked about the story.
Exactly.
Here. We talked about the story of two sisters.
You wouldn't
in Abuja.
Exactly.
Pregnant neighbor kept fainting. They ended up in jail.
I'm not going to lie, was it last year, myself and Michael again, and Michael was still here. We're driving by, this was around past 9 or 10, and then we saw, so there was no crowd because it was dark, but there was traffic, and all the cars saw it. There was a dispatch guy on the floor, and there was blood around him. Nobody could calm down. And then I started trying to call 911. I called the police and they told me not to believe fake story. Hey, like I'm literally looking at it on the floor, and they said don't believe fake story. I called the ambulance. They said they are closed.
Maybe that is Nigeria saying that because of the security concern. Because we all know that is the thing. We've been so badly behaved. Somebody could have stepped down, and that could have been an attempt at robbery. Yeah. But you saw blood, so likely that's not what happened. So if he was hit and somebody has gone
exactly.
off.
So even if it's an attempt at robbery, you would have come to arrest him.
Ambulance told you they were closed.
Your family member said, even if you came down to help their family members, why must it have been you?
You understand?
Couldn't you have gone past? Couldn't you have driven by? Do you think you're the only one that can save?
Because I know that Nigerians are naturally kind people, but now people are getting further and further away from any drama. Nobody wants to. In fact, gone are the days when people will gather around. You would hardly see that anymore.
Because they use that to rob you too while you're gathering around and doing looky. It's a really bad place to be, and it really is. It just shows where our society is.
No, it does.
If you're going to be. And see, we have to circle back, because if you look at the comments of the doctors who tweeted, if we can get those tweets again or those posts from some of the comments of the doctors, you'll see that they've been put in tight places. And as someone said, how much of your own money do you want to spend on gloves and consumables?
So look at Mohammed says a doctor is not responsible for wheeling patients into emergency. That's the job of a porter. How many hospitals now can we say have porters?
Do you understand?
How many?
And again, the who drives up to you in emergency, Nigerians don't know that. They just see the person now. Come and help. And then, of course, we understand you don't touch patients without gloves. What are you doing to get the gloves? And then someone else says, but it wouldn't cost you anything to join hands with the doctors in helping the patient out of your car, since she offered to assist. Instead, you chose to make this unnecessary video. I have a problem with this, and I'll tell you why. There are a lot of times in accident situations that is in the attempt to help, that sometimes, what you call them, laymen, we can actually make the situations worse.
Yes.
We can actually, you can actually be the person who actually maybe dislocates a shoulder or breaks a bone. So we also have to be careful. We understand why in certain situations, but in other certain situations, we don't have the knowledge that doctors have. And again, why is it like they say? This story is upsetting me, please. I'm sorry. I think we need to go on a break now.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. When we come back, the conversation takes us to Delta State, where one community is raising alarm over a spate of disappearances. Another issue: 26 children have gone missing from the community since January. What's happening?
I don't know, ma'am.
We're coming.
Thank you very much for staying with us. You can continue to join the conversation at News Central TV across our social media platforms. The next story takes us to Delta State, where the residents of Agboho, a community in Ughelli North Central area of the government of Delta State, are gripped with fear and frustration. Women in the community have said about 26 children aged between 4 and 10 have gone missing under mysterious circumstances. Well, News Central's Austin Azu was in Agboho and has more information on this. Stay with us.
Hundreds of women a few days ago took to the streets of Agbaro, Delta State, in a peaceful protest, raising the alarm over the disappearance of 26 children in their community.
This thing too much. Our children begin to lose, even those in a goat or fowl. The owner go find her. If you not see her, you go begin to panic, the waka all about, they swear. Talk less of say human being. So now we begin cry that day.
Lucky Iriga and his wife, along with another parent, Vero Lucky, recounted how their 2 children vanished without a trace while playing outside after school.
Since on 29 of this May, came for school around 1 o'clock, maybe around 12, na KG3. Around 1 o'clock, after he must have shoved in it, go play around the environment. Now from there, I see my pikin. From that day to today now, today is Sunday, which is making 10 days now, I never see my pikin. And money why I don't wait because this issue, don't pass 100,000, I never see my pikin. My wife, you know this son, myself, I know this son. Every shop say I not fit the shop now, unless I see my pikin. If I fit get us on mind.
I fit dey sleep, and they find her. Let me see they sleep. Just sleep, wake up for us, me and her. We just come outside. We call the fight for our compound. One boy with one girl. They call the fight for our compound. The pikin even stand for me. We they even they fight. Well, after the fight, because they fight that fight inside my house, we call come outside. A moment that fight stop, at that moment I just start to fight that side.
The big questions remain: who is behind these disappearances? And what measures can be put in place to better protect children and ensure the safety of Agbaro's residents?
See, I'm working for children. They let the with children that lost. I'm working for that sack. Children are not that scam.
The government should do something about it. I'm not happy hearing it that 26 children after carrying pregnancy for 9 months. It's a very sad news. They need to bring more aids to enable this thing to stop. So they should bring strong security in Agbaro.
In response, the local government council chairman has scheduled a security meeting for Tuesday aimed at finding urgent solutions to the rising insecurity in the area. So far, police has not issued any official statement regarding the reported abduction of the 26 children. In Delta for News Central, Austin Azu.
Where? Let me try to imitate the accent. Ma talking for that's not normal. It's not normal. It's not normal. It's not normal. Our pikin will play for outside. Close eye open pikin lost.
As in right beside you.
Right beside, not normal. You don't gather children, take children do, I don't know, but not normal. Don't go spiritual.
It's upsetting to me to hear that 26 children have gone missing from one community since January.
In 4 months.
In 4 months, or yeah, no, I think okay, between January or 4 months, there's this, and it feels like. Again, we talked about the hospital in Lackadaisical. We're here with Lackadaisical again. And that first woman who spoke, is it a goat? They're not goats now. Even if goat is missing, you look for goat. Talk less of children. 26 of them, from the ages, I think they said, of 4 to 10. I think that was
yes.
26, like that, in one community. Are we a serious country?
No. I think, apart from lackadaisical, in quote, lackadaisicalness, if there's a word like that, of it, I think it's something they've just accepted. But whether we like it or not, in several states of the Federation, they have some kind of traditions and things that work. I don't know whether it's one of those, maybe the spirits are angry. You know, you hear all those kinds of things. The spirits are angry, and so
is the spirits that took 26 children.
You never know.
Is the spirits that took 26 children.
My problem is, and this happens a lot in remote communities, right? A lot of times they just leave it to the gods, like she said. Maybe there's a spirit behind all of this, and nobody is. The fact that they're not thinking to look further into the situation because they think, oh, maybe the child does disappear, they've used the child.
But the father said he has spent 100,000, which means he's probably has spent it. Most likely he did not say, but with the police.
With the police,
to look for his child.
But the police has not even said anything.
Thank you.
That.
This is what you declare state of emergency. And escalate, exactly.
This is what this. So why is everybody just being calm about it? You know, when watching that report, I was just thinking, if not my picking. I can't even begin to conceive.
I'm hoping it's not even a case of ritual killings, because
it probably is. That's why
ritual killings, kidnapping, child trafficking.
Yes,
so many things, even organ harvesting.
And particularly in Delta State, a lot is happening with any issue relating to kids. Keep in mind that BBC report of baby trafficking is in Delta State. Another report of selling kids is in Delta State. Is this a case of they are just moving it from one community to the other? And why are people silent?
And so again, I think it was in Delta State. Was it 2 weeks ago? I was talking to Chinwe Ogele about a kidnapper who was apprehended, and then the punishment for him was punishment.
Yes, the Levi, I believe.
Well, he's taking it to somewhere else.
Exactly. So it could be that because this kind of behavior has somewhat been maybe encouraged, so people don't think that there is a dire consequence.
So what in the 21st century, in 2025, what is actually the punishment within ostracization?
Yes.
Being ostracized.
Yeah.
What's the punishment? Thankfully, the law caught him. Bernard Akede covered the story when he was caught at the border. And he was in Lagos, caught at the border. It wasn't because he was ostracized. It's because he was trying to escape judgment. He was trying to escape justice.
I think we're quite.
There's something going on in Delta. See, truth of the matter is there's something going on in all states.
In all states, yes.
But there's something going on in Delta State. 26 children in one community.
That's not
it's a flag, it's an arm, it's mobilizing police and special investigative people on the ground so nobody knows anything.
The last expose by the police in Delta State said they sell babies as low as 800,000. So just imagine.
Sell them to who?
I doubt they continued that report because arrests were made, and what they now did was trying to get back the children from the family of who they were sold to.
Okay.
But those people thought it was adoption because they had some papers.
Yeah, but how do you? How am I standing with my child outside the front yard? I blink. My child has disappeared. From where to where? Are there people in the bushes? Are there people? I don't know. Are there people?
Probably familiar people.
There's something like this cannot be happening without members of the community being involved. People that you'll look at and you will not think twice. Strange Faces would have stood out from when these children started disappearing to now. It's not, even if Strange Faces are involved, they're involved in the bush. There are community members who are involved, because otherwise how can you do this and nobody will fura?
Yeah,
because because it's something they see.
Truly,
you're a community.
You have a point. If you see someone who's new in your community, you will know.
Everybody will know.
And you will know. You will be curious. But if it's someone who's one of you, it's true. You just assume that this Ogenesue now. I know Sue. I know his brother. You know, so it has to be a familiar face. And the truth is, if a door is not opened for you to enter, you know, into somewhere, you can't. As a stranger, you kind of force your way. It means you are known. That's why you are welcomed and given that.
And it's also taken with such a lackadaisical attitude because they are children of poor people. If this was a child of a known member of the community, there would have been a sweep.
And it's something else. We'll follow up with Austin Azu because he said there's supposed to be a security briefing Tuesday, which is today, and we'll hope to have an update on this. This is not a story we should sweep under the carpet. 26 children cannot be missing in a community, whether from January or whether from 4 months ago, and there shouldn't be outcry and support and attention. And that's what we did in taking this story. So we'll continue to follow it. If you're watching the story, if you're seeing it on social media, please let us raise the alarm. It could be any, and as long as these insecurities continue to go in different smaller communities, you think it won't touch you. It will soon get to you. It will knock on the door.
And can we please bring back community parenting? Because I want to believe that if you even see a child following somebody, you just come back. Do you know they used to do that before?
Where are you going? Come back. Gather 26 children here. You know how many there are.
Yeah.
So you can't say it's not a coincidence. 26 children. You guys are just watching as children are being led away. You're just watching. 1, 2, 10, 15, 26
children scattered is even you can separate it. One family lost 2. One family lost 2. The family Austin spoke to has lost 2. You can hear the father say, "I can't hate." The mother is obviously distraught, and we are having this this sort of stories. Please,
let's take a break.
All right, let's go for a short break. When we return, we'll take a look at one of the most talked about stories in the past couple of days. We'll take that break and we'll return. This is Just You. Let's catch our breaths a bit, guys. All right, so now let's talk about the video clip that went viral and is still generating reactions until now. I'm talking about the video that was posted online of public figure and notable pastor Paul Adefarasin, the founder of House on the Rock Church. In the video, Pastor Adefarasin was captured winding down his glasses to mutter some words to someone who was recording him. While some argue that his reaction and tone were unnecessary to the young man he was addressing, there are those who claim that the object in Adefarasin's hand was a gun.
And it's one that has generated a lot of controversy in the past few days. You would think that the drama ended there, but the clergyman...
video again?
But the clergyman has since become a recipient of criticism from the public, who described his actions as callous, that is in his engagement with the content creator, and unbecoming of a man of God. Now, following the online criticism, Adefarasin responded at a Sunday service. Quoting from the book of Romans 12:18, he denied the allegations, saying he never pulled a gun. Quote, "I was falsely accused of pointing a firearm at an aggressive content creator who came within impressionable distance. I do not have a pistol license, and I didn't point a firearm at anybody."
Romans 12 and verse 19. And it was unique because it came home on a Saturday when I observe Sabbath. Because it's a great time for me. I don't make a huge law out of Sabbath, but I believe in the principle of Sabbath. And unfortunately, several persons called me and sent me many videos. I was shocked. I'll be candid with you. I was shocked. I was hurt. I am human. But God is touched with the feeling of our infirmities.
So as we said, the situation continues to generate controversy. Now, in response to Pastor's response, to Pastor Adefarasin's response on the matter, skip maker Mr. Macaroni dropped his own 2 cents. He said, and I quote, "So in this video we all watched, is that boy that was aggressive? He came in close proximity. The same video we all watched. There have been several other responses, so let's take a look at some of them as well." So that's what Mr. Macaroni had to say. Let's take a look at another. In order to clear the air, I think the appropriate thing to do is for Pastor Adefarasin to reveal what exactly he pointed at the boy. Let me finish. Because the public perception was that you, Pastor, pointed gun at the boy. The guy posted a 10 seconds video. It's obvious that isn't all of the encounter. He posted what suits the narrative he wants to give. Truthfully, he didn't point the allegedly firearm at him. Just maybe the pastor has encountered a similar situation which was more hostile. So in order to be ready for what's coming, he defended himself by doing what he did. For someone to be carrying a taser means he has had some sort of trauma experience in the past. He might have been attacked before. I guess he saw that guy as a threat and decided to react based on his experience. It can happen to anyone. And I guess maybe he should have just apologized and say he thought he was a hoodlum. Then I guess he should hire securities or bodyguards if he's very anxious like that.
You're guessing a lot.
But sincerely, that's not a gun. Let the man be. He is a man, after all. He would have just be silenced and not comment. That would have been better than this statement. Let's get into the conversations. This is the last one we'll take. Some people just know fit support truth. Truth is bitter because it's your pastor. He has a tinted car. The camera wasn't in his face. He was, I don't know if this wasn't, I don't know the he he's referring to. He wasn't aggressive. I'm assuming he's talking about the content creator. He shouldn't have, he was aggressive. Oh God. He shouldn't have rolled down. And yes, he didn't have a plate number, so nobody would have recognized him. So I'm suspecting that he is the pastor, so he was aggressive. I'm so sorry, I'm trying to correct.
I'm wondering, before we get it, I'm wondering, what is the state of the nation's English?
See, it's not only about the English. I think first is that people mistake spirituality for eloquence. Pastor Adefarasin is very eloquent, but he said a bunch of nothing. I am sorry. Am I sorry though? But first, mine is, first, he profiled the young man. He brought out what we found out, or I have found out to be a taser. A taser.
How did you find it out?
No, there is actually a picture of the exact thing he was holding. But so it is a taser. No, it looks like a taser. You're going to have to continue to say it looks like it looks like, allegedly, it looks like a taser. But still, a taser is an assault weapon, and it is illegal in Nigeria. And that is exactly why he cannot post the exact picture or admit to it, because that directly takes him to the police. Yeah. I know this because 2 years ago, there was that popularity of every woman should carry a pepper spray, and police has come out to address it. Pastor Adefarasin has one. Clearly, that looks like a taser. Now, again, he said a bunch of nothing because you didn't say what you were carrying. And you brought Romans 12. And this is what we say about spiritual.
He brought Satan and the works of the devil into the conversation.
He even said he was heartbroken because it happened on Sabbath. Again, eloquence it was hurt. Instead, it's the one that was hurt. Now, let's talk about Ikoyi Bridge. A lot of content creators have made their careers on that bridge. We have Ola of Lagos. We have a couple of them. Now, this is a boarding guy. He claimed he was meters far away from him, too. The guy was clearly on the pedestrian. He moved close to him. You wound down, rolled down, almost tased him, and you're hurt.
Okay. So I do believe, and I agree with what you say, that all of that he said was just King James language, right? Nobody wanted to hear that, to be honest. You observing Sabbath, the Sabbath day, it was Sabbath, I was hurt. Nobody wanted to hear that. I had never for once, since I saw the video, actually believed that it was a gun. However, I knew that it was allegedly a taser, because I had seen something like that before.
But my issue is, Pastor, you have anger issues because this is not the first time. There was a time that you came down from your car allegedly to assault somebody, allegedly, and you went back into your car. That wasn't needed. Secondly, you wound down your glass. Your glass is tinted. Nobody would have even known it was you if you did not wind down that glass. He wasn't going to punch this thing and tell you to bring money. Do you understand? So they find trouble when they find you, unfortunately.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say?
Honestly, work on your anger issues and stop using James language. You understand?
So I'll say that we had multiple conversations about this weekend. Sometimes in a statement, you have to explain. You cannot leave space for vagaries. His statement left space for vagaries. Yeah. You even posted that you would explain yourself at church on Sunday. So you do an explanation, you do not say what you were holding. You simply say that you did not have a gun, you did not have a gun license. But what were you holding? Because that is an incomplete statement. It is an incomplete explanation. And to those who say he didn't have to explain, if he didn't explain, if he got on the pulpit on Sunday and decided not to talk about it, he doesn't have to. But the moment you decide to talk about it, your explanation needs to be in full. It needs to be complete. And it needs to tell us what was in your hand. And if it's not a gun, we give you grace.
So let's stop this thing about you don't have to. You have to explain. You have to explain yourself. We need to hold you accountable.
We've been talking about accountability. The same accountability we give to the government, we expect of spiritual leaders because they are leaders for a reason.
Exactly.
He did not admit to what he was holding because his PR team or his lawyers have said, actually, which he might not be aware of, that a taser is an illegal weapon in Nigeria.
And I want people to change the personality in this. If this was a politician, if this was a politician caught on camera in this same situation,
for example,
would we be as gracious as many people are demanding? True. Would Nigerians be as gracious as they're demanding? Would they not be asking for the same explanation that some are demanding of Pastor Adefarasin?
Or even raise the hand of the police to say, he should be called in for questioning.
Yeah. We should really be careful with how we decide we want to mete out justice or want to judge people personally and collectively as a people. Because, anyway, it has been a fiery, before they pursue me here, it's been a fiery Tuesday on Jasiri, and we didn't hold back from real talk to raw truths, some uncomfortable. These hot topics remind us why the conversations we have matter. Whether you agreed, whether you disagreed, or even still processing, that's the point. Stay bold, stay curious, meet us right back here tomorrow for what? More unfiltered truth. Please keep the fire burning. Not burn yourself till tomorrow. Bye.
All right.